Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Props. I wanted to kind of, go into December and have a really cool Star Wars related videos due to The Force Awakens coming out later this month. So I thought let's start off by talking about Stormtrooper helmets, or at least the helmet from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now when Episode 4 came out, A New Hope, there was a whole whack of new type of villains. Previously in a lot of space serials, you did have faced villains. And this one really went forward with the whole Stormtrooper idea, the whole idea of masked, faceless villains that had iconography or a sort of silhouette that automatically showed that they were villains. Back in the Old West where they had the white hat and the black hat and all that kind of stuff to kind of signify good guys versus bad guys. Now, the Stormtroopers were very interesting in that you very rarely heard them, never mind, you never saw their faces, never saw what was on the helmet. It was all based on the fear or the silhouette of their villainy. Now, Attack of the Clones had this idea of kind of an evolution for the Stormtrooper, to bring you to the Stormtrooper in like this long path. They had this big elaborate setup of clones, and they had the clones grown, and they had, they came to be full adulthood, ready for soldiering, and they had this armor. Now, the helmet that was used at that point was very reminiscent of Boba Fett or Jango Fett, for obvious reasons, where that was the model clone. The stage between this one and the A New Hope Stormtrooper was the ones that showed up in Revenge of the Sith. And they almost took this idea, and so you had the Boba Fett helmet, so you had the Boba Fett helmet, then you had the Clone Trooper helmet, and you had to have a kind of an evolution towards it, and then you had the Episode 3 helmet. And it was pretty cool how they integrated some of those things. So you had the speaker nubs, and you had the frown a little bit more prominent, and you still retained some of the items from the from the Attack of the Clones by having the fin and everything like that. It looked a lot more Stormtrooper. So here it is. This one is actually one of my most favorite helmets of the entire trilogy. It's pretty cool. This is actually not even mine. This is my wife's helmet, but it's pretty cool. It had a lot more character in a way. You can really see the evolution between this and the Stormtrooper helmet. And in a way, you can also see the entire progression that goes all the way to the Force Awakens First Order Trooper helmets. The whole evolution of how, things change, styles change and everything like that. But this helmet's really good. This was done by a good friend of mine, Brian Capri, he may still have them. If he does, I'll post a link to his eBay auctions down below in the description. He does a lot of Stargate stuff as well. But anyway, it's a very well done helmet. We didn't do anything on the inside, but for the most part, it's really, really fun. The detail in it's pretty neat. It's very simple, but it's really fun to see. And as you see in the close-ups here, it's got some weathering on it, which is something I always really, really love about Star Wars, particularly, is the non-pristine look of a lot of the things. Now, interestingly, which I'm sure a lot of you are watching, know that in Episode 2, there were no practical armor sets, no helmets, nothing made. But yeah, it's too bad in a way because the Episode 2 helmets were pretty cool. They did have a lack of nose room, so a lot of times you see the Clone Trooper costumers have a little more space. But these ones are definitely different from that. They actually have that whole look to it. And again, pretty cool helmet. And what's really neat about these two is they had that kind of bridge between good guy and bad guy. As I've mentioned, the A New Hope was like the silhouette of a bad guy. But Episode 2 kind of spun that on its head, saying, no, these are good guys. And then Episode 3, you see them go from good to bad. We're in the same outfit. So again, as a way to kind of bridge the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy, using, solidified items to kind of, create that familiarity. I love them. As far as anyone complains about the prequel trilogy, about storylines, characters, things like that, for the most part, there hasn't been a lot of complaints about the props. A lot of people still love these helmets, still love the overall aesthetic of the clones and everyone else. So anyway, if you have any questions about this, ask me in the comments below. It's a really fun thing to have. I know a lot of people who are actually just helmet collectors and have pretty much every version you can get, especially the custom versions with different paint schemes and everything like that. But anyway, thanks so much for liking, subscribing. If you want to subscribe, make sure you click over here. I will have more Star Wars videos upcoming. There's going to be a top 10 coming up as well, so be sure to subscribe. But thanks so much for liking and sharing, but most of all, thanks for watching.